everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Tony with you back once again in Omniplex, Wigan. We are here today to watch Wicked. 2 hours and 40 minutes of a sing-along musical. I don't know what I think about that, but most of the club's here. So we'll go in, give it a watch, and then I'll be back with you in a blink of an eye. Okay, so we are out of the screening for Wicked. Normally, I would do this kind of review back in the cinema with members of the club around me, but it was so goddamn busy in there, it just wasn't doable. I've never seen this particular cinema so busy since it opened. I mean, Beetlejuice was busy. This trounced it. You know what I mean? We had a look yesterday and today, and every screening of this film has been completely full. Which is brilliant for the film, brilliant for box office numbers, not too brilliant for me, as I've got to say. I struggle with it. It's long. At 2 hours and 40 minutes, it's long. And I knew that going in. And going in, I didn't really know much about the storyline. A tiny little bit, but not too much. And after 2 hours and 40 minutes, I'm still not sure about the storyline. It misses every single beat. It's quite odd that a film at 2 hours and 40 minutes that's a much loved musical and theatre show misses the mark so much as this misses. Again, I am not that savvy with the storyline. I have a basic idea of what it is. If you're going into this blind and you have never seen the stage show, the chances are you won't follow it. It moves at a blistering pace, like it doesn't stop. Now, I like a musical as much as the next person. You know what I mean? Little Shop of Horrors, great. Each song in a segment leads into something. It tells the story. It leads you into development of characters. It's great. Blues Brothers, one of my favourites, does the same. Even though songs that they sing are predominantly songs that were written by other artists, they fit in that storyline fantastically. And there's others that do it. For me personally, this misses the mark massively for it. It's one show tune after another show tune after another show tune. One song leads into another song, leads into another song. There's no segment in between to tell you the story of what's going on. So you would say, okay, the song is going to lead the story, and it doesn't. It just doesn't at all. Every song just seems to drag its heels with no development of anything. It's slightly weird. Now, unless I'm completely missing something altogether, and I'm looking at it from a sort of different set of eyes to what other people are, is I completely miss the narrative of what the film's actually trying to tell you. It's odd. It's bizarre. It moves, like I said, 2 hours and 40 minutes long. It's long. And you know it's long. And it's moving at a blistering pace because the musical numbers just keep coming and coming and coming. But it's also at the same time, it's the slowest paced thing to get to a finale I've ever seen. I just don't comprehend it. It just wasn't sinking in. I just disengaged after about the first 40 minutes, I think. The opening to it, you're thrown straight in. It's musical number after musical number after musical number without any character narrative, without any sort of distinctive drive towards a character. And you get it at the beginning, obviously, the good witch is trying to tell the story of how the wicked witch, how they were once friends. But, like, the singing and dancing, like, the first 10 minutes in, and they've not even told you anything. There's, like, it's too much. It's just boom, 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 but no story. And like I said, the song doesn't drive the story either. They're just solely relying on the song to be the entertaining part, while everything else around it just seems to be bolted on to get to a finale. I get it. These kind of films generally aren't, you know what I mean, aimed at me. I understand that. But I expect to be able to follow a storyline. And for me, there is no real storyline to be followed. It's a combination of 3 stories, really, that's cobbled together into one, with no real outcome of any of them. And then, to my amazement, you know it's wrapping up. You can tell the film's wrapping up. My God, that was only part 1. I'd never even realised that there was going to be a part 2 of this. I mean, how the hell can they drag this out for 5 hours? There's nothing there to drag out that far. Acting wise, you know what I mean. The woman that plays the Wicked Witch, very good. It's cool to see Jeff Goldblum in there for the little part he has as the Wizard of Oz. It's Jeff Goldblum basically being Jeff Goldblum. You could sort of lift him out of anything and put him straight into that, and it would have fit straight in. The rest of the sort of narrative of characters that's in there sort of fails. You know what I mean? You don't get much character backstory of anything. You just sort of like thrown loads of characters at you and expect to know who they are, kind of thing. It's slightly odd, but the acting's pretty good. Visually, it looks okay. You know what I mean? There's some sort of like slapdash moments in the CG that don't hold up. I mean, at all. There's a bit where a prince picks a lion cub up, and it's really bad, like really bad, distorted. Doesn't really work. It doesn't really feel that he's holding it. It just looks really superimposed. And all that scene in itself, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's thrown in there just to pad something out because there's nothing else leading into it. Apart from, you know what I mean, the basic premise of the stories, yeah, no one liked the Wicked Witch right from the beginning, even though she'd done nothing wrong. She's quite a nice child. And at the end, she's done nothing wrong, but people still dislike her. Yeah, you know what I mean? No doubt this is going to take millions. People are going to love it, but it was just lost on me, I think. I just didn't get it at all. It's, you know, like I say, I was expecting the musical numbers to drive the storyline, and they just don't. They just don't whatsoever. And then the bits of storyline that are in between the singing, which is very few and far between, you get quite a bit. The last 40 minutes, I would say, less musical numbers, more straight in story, and it's quite nice when it hits that point. I would say, the first hour and 30 minutes, it's just song after song after song after song. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It could just be me that's missing something out of this. I hadn't checked out anybody else's reviews. I don't really know what anybody else had to say about the film. Like I say, I would imagine predominantly the majority of people will like it, but it's just lost on me, like massively, because I couldn't follow it. No, I can follow like most nonsensical rubbish you'll ever come across, but this, no, I couldn't follow it because it was just moving at a speed and a pace that's just uncomprehendable. It's just flying, and like I said, the musical numbers don't really tell enough of the story or pad out enough of the characters enough. They just seem to be singing about a particular scene, but it doesn't fill anything. Yeah, weird. I can't say I would go back and watch it. I can't say as I go back and watch part 2, even though I've watched part 1. It's not for me. It's generally not for me. And most films that aren't for me, I have probably got some, you know what I mean, positive things to say about it, or plus things to say about it, because it's, you know what I mean, it's horses for courses. But for this, I couldn't see anything. I just couldn't see anything in it. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes of just fast-paced, I don't know, just singing, dancing with no storyline. It's bizarre. mean, if any of you guys have watched it and you think differently, then leave some comments down below. I'd love to know other people's opinions on this, whether it was just me or other people that have watched this that have thought the same thing. But it would be good to hear from you guys and see what you think of it or thought of it if you guys have seen it. But until the next one, guys, remember, keep it cult.